What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Lace Up. I'm your host, VJ Johnson II, ready to give you the latest, hottest news and updates in the world of sports. I appreciate everybody jumping in and joining the podcast and giving me a little bit of your time to talk some good, healthy sports talk as always. Man, I hope everybody has had a great week. For those of you who are off today, like myself, shout out to you enjoying getting an early start to a nice long weekend. For those of you who are still on the clock, look, it's all good. Look, just see it through to the end, and you'll be able to join the party. But no, again, I hope everybody has, like I said, had a great week. Had a lot to catch up on with you guys. Obviously, some things have been going on in the sports world, and had some things going on myself as well. Celebrated my 34th birthday on last Tuesday, so I had an amazing time celebrating that. My fiance, she did an outstanding job surprising me even leading up to my birthday, and it was just a great day, and I felt so loved and celebrated. So I thank you to everybody for all of the love, all my friends and family, all the birthday wishes, man. Really and truly appreciate it. And look, shout out to anybody else who had a birthday out there. Shout out to you all as well. It's cancer season, so shout out to all the cancers out there. But like I said, man, it's been a lot of good things, crazy things going on in the sports world that I like to jump in and unpack with you all. Not every single thing, but wanted to kind of, again, touch on some things that have happened most recent in different areas around the sports world. First and foremost, gotta, since I didn't get a chance to do this, congratulate the New York Knicks, because obviously, we know that they won the NBA Finals. So New York has been crazy. Didn't really, like what I saw from the fans throughout the NBA Finals series, the way that they treated the Spurs fans in New York. I just thought that was just crazy and unnecessary and classless. But for the fans that were, obviously conducting themselves in a professional way and not engaged in a lot of that stuff, obviously happy for them. 53 years is a long time to wait for a championship. Believe me, I'm a Cubs fan, and we had it was like 100 plus years before the Cubs finally broke the curse and won the World Series. So I feel the pain of those who had to endure that. And obviously, look, New York finally on top again. It's been a long time, so I know they had the parade and everything like that, so they want to spend a whole lot of time on that. But just congratulating the Knicks, Jaylen Brunson, those guys like doing their thing. And again, some things have shifted and changed since the NBA Finals with the NBA free agency and everything like that. And we'll get into that in just a little bit. But wanted to first, as we transition, man, shout out to my boy, my QB1, Caleb Williams, man, for the Chicago Bears. He became the first Chicago Bears player to make the Madden cover. So Caleb Williams, he's going to be the cover of Madden 27. I know that was revealed a little while back, about a couple weeks ago. And this is huge. I know what people have to say about this whole like Madden curse thing. If you get on the cover of Madden and you have like a bad season, we've seen that is not true, because Patrick Mahomes has been on the cover. I think him and Lamar Jackson, I think they both had really good years. It's been a couple other guys that have been on the cover that had didn't go through this whole Madden curse. But he's going to enter in the 2026 season of Madden with a 90 overall rating. And here's a quote from what Caleb Williams said in regards to him receiving the call that he would be officially named as the cover athlete for Madden 27. He said, "When I received the call from Madden, it was like my childhood dream was coming true." He said, "Being on the cover of Madden 27 is a full circle moment. I grew up playing Madden and imagining what it would be like to be a part of the game. I know fans are going to love what's new in this year's game, and I'm looking forward to getting my rating up to a 99 by the end of the season." So, um, you know, we saw what Caleb Williams was able to do in his first year with Ben Johnson. Threw for just under 4,000 yards, 3,942, and 27 touchdowns. Uh, Obviously, that set the franchise single season passing record. And he also led the Bears to their first division title since 2018. And he's the first playoff win in 15 years. So, again, in doing that, he emerged as one of the NFL's most exciting and electrifying quarterbacks, with all of the comebacks and numerous fourth quarter comebacks, literally getting the Bears the nickname the Cardiac Bears. Again, they made history with 7 comebacks. We just have not seen that done before. I mean, I've been a Bears fan my entire life. I've never seen that many Bears comebacks ever. And including that, those 7 comebacks included the playoffs. In trailing in the fourth quarter, it was just, this team is never out of it. It didn't matter what the score was. They just were never out of the game. So, cool thing about the Madden, going back to the Madden game with Caleb Williams being in it. So the standard edition is actually gonna cover or feature Caleb's signature jump pass, which he threw on the 4th and 8 against Green Bay. We threw that to Rome Odunze as they fought back from an 18-point deficit in the playoffs. So that is going to be in there as well. And we all know that the 2025 NFL Moment of the Year was Caleb's 46-yard touchdown to DJ Moore, walk-off touchdown to beat the Green Bay Packers. I hope some Green Bay Packers fans are listening, because we'll never let y'all live that down, and that playoff win in the wild card round. Another comeback that we put up on you guys. So we'll never let y'all live that down. In the deluxe edition, they're gonna have the Williams Iceman celebration, as you know, where he rubs off both his arms after a big moment. You know, obviously signature move, Iceman. And again, this is what the NFL, as I wrap this up, what the NFL had to say about Caleb Williams and the decision to include him in the game. Well, actually, this is from Evan Dexter, EA Sports, VP of Franchise Strategy and Marketing. So he says, Caleb Williams is what a true face of the franchise looks like. The culmination of many moments in the Chicago Bears' incredible history that has led them to their electric generational quarterback. So, again, this is just an outstanding moment, you know, for not just the Chicago Bear, but the Chicago Bears quarterback. We know, you know, people have made jokes in the past that Chicago is where, you know, quarterbacks come to die, not in a literal sense, but their careers. But Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, they're turning that thing around. And I couldn't be more excited to actually, you know, I'm looking forward to playing the game, but not only just the game, but looking to see what is going to happen with this duo between Ben and Caleb for this upcoming NFL season, which we are not that far away from, y'all. And college football is right around the corner too, so don't have that much longer. But look, we're in the summer, so look, we're enjoying the summer vibes. Don't get me wrong, we're enjoying the summer vibes, but football is not. It's not that far away. So yeah, no. And one more thing, something else that I did that I wanted to let you guys know about. Got my tickets to the Bears Falcons game that's going to be down here in October. So extremely excited that I will finally be able to see Caleb Williams play in person. Had not been able to do that yet. But what better time in his going into his second year with Ben Johnson as the head coach and offensive coordinator. So extremely excited to be able to see Caleb Williams in person. All right, so as we transition here and talk about, we want to keep it in the NFL because there was some unfortunate news that happened, and a lot of mostly everybody is heard about this situation with uh, the Lions and coming out of Detroit. So the Detroit Lions, literally just the other day, earlier this week, they officially released their cornerback Terrion Arnold after he was arrested on felony charges. So just want to get into and unpack kind of everything that's been going on with this, and then give you my thoughts on the situation. So again, he was arrested last week on felony charges of armed robbery and kidnapping. This was announced on Monday. He was released from custody on Tuesday. He had a $1 million bond that was set by the Hillsborough County, Florida judge, Christopher Sabella. So he also added the following to the conditions after he posted bail. He is not allowed contact with the six co-defendants or the witness in the case, or the witnesses in the case. Excuse me. He must surrender his passport within 48 hours. Obviously, 48 hours has already passed, so he's already surrendered the passport. He's also ordered. He was also ordered to be confined in his residence in Tallahassee, Florida, except when he would be playing, training, or traveling at that time with the Lions, or making court-related appearances or legal appointments. So we all know that, again, since he had posted bail and been released, he is no longer with the Detroit Lions. So the state actually did ask the judge on Monday to require Terrion to wear a GPS tracking device, but the attorneys allowed that he obviously wouldn't be able to play football with the device on him. However, the prosecutors, since he's been released, they're actually asking the court to reconsider their request that he be mandated to wear a GPS tracking device. Now, Terrion Arnold, he's 23 years old. He's been in custody since Wednesday night, when he actually turned himself in. And the authorities, so just to kind of backtrack on how this transpired. So he's been accused of orchestrating the abduction and beating of three men who they believe have wrongfully obviously stolen luxury goods and $100,000 in cash from him. So according to the prosecutors, so the victims were actually abducted 3 days after cash and luxury items, including Rolex watches, Louis Vuitton bags, were stolen from Arnold at an Airbnb rental that he had in the Tampa area. So the prosecutors also say that 6 of Arnold's associates, they carried out the crimes by holding, beating, and pistol whipping the victims, and that Terrion Arnold was actually not there at the time, but he was the one calling the shots and orchestrating it. So none of the co-defendants had bonds set for them. There were 2 female co-defendants. They pled guilty, and they're also cooperating with authorities. And obviously their statements are going to be tied to the case as well. And the prosecutors, last but not least, they're arguing that he is responsible for the crimes as his co-defendants because he told his associates that he thought he knew who had stolen from him and said that he wanted to confront them, which set the events in motion. Now, looking at this situation, obviously it is extremely, sad and unfortunate that this had to happen, and obviously Terrion Arnold, that's former Alabama, football player. He was drafted in the first round of the 2024 draft. Um, you know, really good cornerback, especially throughout his time in Alabama, just continue to get better. So I hate to see guys from Alabama, and it just kind of sad when you see players who have so much potential that come out of Alabama. I mean, not just Alabama. I'm just speaking because there's just been a number of players that came out of Alabama that just have uh, gotten into some trouble. And this is not obviously to say I love Alabama. I love my school. I'm just speaking because I am an alumni of the University of Alabama, and I hate to see not even just the athletes, but anybody that comes from Alabama get into situations and scenarios where they put themselves at risk and to lose everything and to be locked up. And especially with him, he had 2 years and 4.8 million remaining on his rookie contract. I think this just comes down to the choices and the decisions that we make. As somebody who has not none of us are exempt from this. We've all made choices, we've all made decisions that have not been smart, that have been detrimental to that could be extremely detrimental to our futures if we don't learn from them. And so nobody's exempt from this. Nobody's exempt from mistakes and things like this. But this is one of those situations you have to use your head. And as somebody, I'll be the first one to raise my hand and say I have not always made the best decisions and smartest choices. And one would hope and pray that you learn from these situations and circumstances. I obviously think that there is some regret in the decision that he made. And for me, it's if somebody robs you, if somebody steals from you, report it to the authorities. Let law enforcement handle that. That's what they're paid to do. Don't take matters into your own hands. I get that $100,000 in cash and Louis Vuitton bags and different things like that. Those are possessions. Those are things that you can't we can't get so tied up into material things that they make us do stupid things and make stupid choices. Again, we've all made decisions that are not smart. And I think that this is one of those things where you get caught up in the moment, you act on impulse, you're not thinking, you're seeing red, and again, we've seen this happen, with and I hate to, and again, this is not just Alabama athletes. I hate young black athletes who have so much potential to make, decisions and lose out on their careers, just their future. I really and truly do not like to see things like that. And so I'm not here to down, another black man. I'm not here to down, another man. I'm just simply saying that we have to make better decisions. We have to make better choices. We have to learn from our mistakes, grow from our mistakes. I think that we've seen examples of that, obviously, going back to, even the situation that happened with Mike Vick, when he went to jail and he was out of football and everybody wrote him off and was like, look, this is just, it was a really dark and sad time for him, but he was able to come out of that situation. He was able to, play football again and make plays and play at a high level. Learning from those mistakes, going to speak to people about decisions that he made to help influence the younger generation and other people, to not make those mistakes, or just to think before you do certain things. And I think that Terrion Arnold, he obviously he has an opportunity to be able to do that. I think the legal battle is obviously not over yet because there's still some investigation and things like that taking place. And even his attorney wrote in a court filing that 3 NFL teams have already reached out to contact Arnold since he was waived by the Lions, and that they're expecting him to join a new team within 30 days. So, this is an opportunity to still, um, learn, grow, and make the most out of these situations. And again, this is pending still investigation. He's been released and things like that because there's still things that need to be investigated. But for the time being, this is an opportunity to really think about, what he wants for himself in his career. And again, I hope and pray that, he's able to do that. And, and let this just be an example for all athletes out there, young athletes looking at things like this, guys in high school, guys in college, even other young players that are currently in the NFL. We gotta be smart. And I'm not saying we, because I'm obviously not an athlete, but we as black men, as young athletes, be smart. Be smart. Make wise decisions. Don't take matters into your own hands. And just, again, focus on your craft, which is getting better as an athlete. The family that you want to build, things like that. We got to get out of these. I see so much, and I'll end with this, where people come from a certain environment that they grew up in, and they get into the NFL with the fame and the money and the cars and the luxury lifestyle, but that part of them never leaves. That part that environment that never leaves them. And we got to be able to find balance in leaving the past behind, and whatever that past looked like, and set an example for the future, and those that are going to be coming after you. So that's all I wanted to say, man, with that. And we'll obviously continue to follow this and monitor the situation as it plays out. But for now, we'll see what team Terrion ends up landing with. And as I know more, you'll know more. But before we get into our next topic, you are listening to the Lace Up Sports Talk Show right here on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Audio Boom. And of course, you are also streaming and watching it here on YouTube. Appreciate everybody, again, the love and support that you guys have shown, even in my times of absence. Again, I can only, thank you guys, for continuing to, again, show support, show love. And I am still planning to do different things and take the show to newer heights. So keep rocking with me. I promise you that I got some really good stuff in store for y'all, and I'm excited to continue on this ride and on this journey. So that being said, let's jump back into things, and let's transition to the NBA, because NBA free agency has been insane. Again, have my eyes set towards football, so I personally, am kind of in that mindset. But you cannot ignore what has happened in free agency in the NBA. So let me first start off with the Giannis news. So Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis were traded from the Milwaukee Bucks to the Miami Heat in exchange for Tyler Herro, Khalil Ware, Jamie Jaquez Jr., and Kasparis Junicionis. I hope I said that right. 3 first-round picks, including number 13, the number 13 pick that was in the NBA draft. and there was one pick swapped and one second round pick. Uh, a lot going on there. Huge blockbuster trade, right? Um, the Heat now are sending Milwaukee unprotected first rounders in 2031, 2033, along with number 13 again picks. They sent the number 13 pick to them as well. Now, this trade didn't include any other or any additional teams. We typically will see blockbuster trades like this include like 3 teams at least, but there were no other teams involved. This is one-on-one, Bucks, Heat, and yeah, they'll officially execute this deal in 3 days on the 6th. So on Monday it will be official, and this obviously leaves it leaves it open to where they can expand, with other teams and getting them involved. A prime example, there was last year in June when the Suns and Rockets agreed to a deal. It ultimately increased to a 7-team trade. So again, there's three days, to whether or not they want to include some more teams and see what other pieces can be moved. So Pat Riley, man, Miami Heat president, he has a history of landing big names. Again, Giannis is one that is joining those names, but he has is joining in pickups that Pat Riley has acquired. LeBron James, Shaquille O'Neal, Chris Bosh, Alonzo Mourning, and Jimmy Butler over the past 30 plus years. And again, Pat Riley is known to bring in big names, as you can see the ones I listed. So he's going to pair the 2-time MVP Giannis and the 2021 Finals MVP with Bam Adebayo to make a push to come out of the Eastern Conference next year. So a huge move, man. I mean, Giannis in Miami. Initially, you thought, and I'll talk about this in a second as well, you thought he might end up in Boston, or, that was what it was looking like. I know it came down to Boston and Miami. Ultimately, there were some few teams that they were listing out there, but Boston and Miami were the final two, and obviously Miami won that. Now, you honestly, going back to the NBA All-Star Weekend, you could kind of see this coming when Giannis was standing up and hype during can't remember the player's name who represented Miami in the dunk contest, but he was up dancing with him, excited. Like, you can argue that was like a flash of him showing that he wanted to go to Miami, and now he got his wish. You saw the writing on the wall with Milwaukee. I just think that obviously he did what he did. He brought them a championship. He gave it his all there, but I think ultimately over time, with different departures and things like that, he just grew to be unhappy in the organization, on top of and coupled with being injured and just not feeling like he had enough support there. I mean, they tried the thing out with Damian Lillard. That obviously didn't work. They just were not the team was just not on the same page. And I don't think that the team that had Dame on it and stuff, I don't even think they played more than a few games healthy or whatever, the way that team was structured. So, but look, we got Giannis in Miami, so we'll see what happens there. It's going to be exciting to watch, obviously. Now, the one thing that I am raising question about is where's the shooting going to come from, because they did lose their best shooter, Tyler Herro, or at least one of their best shooters. If you don't consider him their best shooter, he's at least one of their best shooters. And in the bench, what is that going to look like? Because they got a lot of big man that's potential in their starting lineup. So, but again, there's more than enough time to bring in and acquire shooters and things like that. So we will see what happens with that. But also wanted to bring up another big trade that happened. Jaylen Brown has found a new home. The Celtics, they agreed to trade Jaylen Brown to the Philadelphia 76ers. This is another blockbuster trade. The Sixers are going to will be sending Paul George, 2 first-round picks in 2028 and 2031, and 2 second-round selections in 2028 and 2030 to Boston to complete the deal. And, we saw this situation kind of building up, Jaylen Brown's future, being in question over the last couple of weeks. And even, I would say, over the last couple of years, with Tatum and Jaylen Brown, we knew there was going to be a situation when they both, were not going to remain there. The Celtics did attempt, going back to what I was talking about earlier, they actually attempted to trade Jaylen Brown and 2 unprotected first-round picks to the Bucks for Giannis. But Milwaukee decided to, again, trade with Miami. We all know, because look at what Miami got back. Look at what Milwaukee got back for Giannis. 2 picks wasn't gonna, 2 picks in Jaylen Brown wasn't gonna be enough compared to what they got. But Boston, they had spent the recent days looking for a trade partner. They were fully blown, reportedly full blown shopping Jaylen Brown around the league starting on Wednesday. And Jaylen Brown never requested a trade. I just think that, again, the writing's on the wall. And I think that the Celtics obviously would rather put their future and continue to build around Jason Tatum. And so here we are at this situation. So Jaylen Brown, he is going to be turning 30 in October. He was a 5-time All-Star while he was in Boston, 2024 Eastern Conference Finals and NBA Finals MVP, helping Boston win their 18th championship. He's coming off of a career season. He finished 6th in the MVP voting, and he was second team All NBA while he led the Celtics to a 56-win season. And he did average 28.6, just under 7 rebounds and 5 assists per game, which all matched or exceeded his prior career highs. So, now, I truly don't know what Boston is doing just because they didn't get anything really back. They got, some picks and stuff like that, but Paul George, now I wanted to tell you guys about this tweet. This is one of the funniest tweets that I saw the other day. This guy on Twitter, he says, nah, bro, I'm legit dumbfounded. Jaylen Brown's value is 36-year-old Paul George and a Big Mac combo. That actually had me dying laughing because, he's right. It's like all they got back was, and all they could get for Jaylen Brown coming off of a career high season. And again, what I just listed, a 5-time All-Star, 2024 Eastern Conference Final and NBA Finals MVP, and all they can get was Paul George. And some picks that we obviously don't, we don't know how that's going to turn out. That's crazy, Again, I'm a Bulls fan, so look, Boston going downhill, look, I'm all for that. So I'm cool with that regardless. It's just funny to look and see what these, these presidents and these owners, like the decisions that they make, leave you scratching your head. And I'm sure that, there are some Celtics fans that are going to be out here and say that they weren't bothered by this and X, Y, and Z. Just like I know there's some Bucks fans that said that they weren't bothered that Giannis is being traded out of Miami because they just knew it. Traded out of Milwaukee. But y'all are hurt. I know y'all are hurt. Anybody, when there's a situation where you got a player that's been with your franchise for so long and they get traded, like, it hurts. Think about all the jerseys, all the jerseys y'all have, all of the, the games that you've probably attended just because you wanted to see these players. Like, it stings, and it's okay if that's the truth, But again, the NBA is going to look different next year, and then obviously, LeBron coming out saying he's not going to return to the Lakers. That was the other latest news. Not going to spend a whole lot of time there because, again, I don't want to get into this whole like the decision situation where you drag this thing out and X, Y, Z. I'm not even about to even entertain that. I'll simply leave you with LeBron's time in LA is coming to an end. He wants to play elsewhere. I know some teams have come up like the Warriors, Denver, the Timberwolves. Things like that. So we'll see where he ends up. And 9 times out of 10, he already knows where he wants to play. I saw the Knicks come up just yesterday. I saw somebody talking about LeBron going to New York. That would actually be insane. But he's gonna go somewhere where he doesn't have to do much. So. But we'll see what happens. We will see. Especially because his son is Bronny is still in LA. So what is that going to look like? Now the Lakers they went like full. Somebody made a joke, said the Lakers went like full like 80s or whatever, like, and went like now they got like an all white starting five. So there's been some jokes about that. I'm not gonna say what I heard and read. Obviously not gonna repeat those things, but it is hilarious what people are saying about the way that the Lakers look now. So I encourage y'all just go look and listen to that. It'll give you a huge laugh, just like it did me. So yeah, but as we transition again, you are listening to the Lace Up Sports Talk Show right here on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audio Boom, and of course on YouTube. I appreciate everybody's love, support, and you guys continue to rock with me on this journey, on this ride, and I love talking sports with you guys. And look, coming together, man, just to discuss the chaos and the craziness that happens in sports, like we love. Want to transition to the U.S. men's national team. That's right. Let's talk about some FIFA World Cup, because I have not been able to talk about that with you guys yet. So excited to talk about those things. And, we had the U.S. men's national team. They advanced to the round of 16 of the FIFA World Cup. So just want to talk about that. And we obviously are in a really good position. The U.S. men's national team knocked off Bosnia 2-0 the other night. And Florin Balogun, he scored his third goal of the World Cup before he was eventually sent off with a red card in the second half, which is just ridiculous that he was sent off with a red card. With him being given a red card, he is now suspended for the next match that's taking place on Monday against Belgium, which is just ridiculous. But Malik Tillman, for the U.S. men's team, he converted a free kick to give the U.S. men's team, who were down 10 men after they were down to 10 men on the field once Florin exited with the red card. But him knocking in that free kick, that gave the U.S. a 2-0 win, at least secured it. Now, Balogun, he dominated the first half with his goal, and he also had several chances that helped the U.S. control the match. But obviously the U.S., they had to scramble, with being down a man after the foul that happened in the 64th minute. That landed him again the red card. But Malik Tillman, he did help again secure the win. Now, this gave the U.S. its second World Cup knockout round win. The U.S. team actually made it to the semifinals in the first tournament in 1930. By winning their group, and they won a round of 16 matchup against Mexico in 2002. So the win over Bosnia in the round of 32 in this year's expanded tournament, that sets up a matchup on Monday in Seattle against Belgium, as the U.S. hopes to advance and make a deep run on home soil. So, this pretty cool thing about this game against Bosnia is it was actually played less than 20 miles from the site of the first U.S. knockout round game in the modern area, where the U.S. they lost 1-0 to Brazil at Stanford Stadium in 1994. This time around, the USA was favored to win this game, and they did just that. The win is snapped a 10-game losing streak for the U.S. against the European teams, again, dating back to a tie against England in 2022's World Cup. It's also marked the first win in the World Cup for the Americans since against the European team since the win over Portugal in 2002 in the opener. So they were winless in 13 straight World Cup matchups against European teams, including a 2-1 loss in extra time to Belgium in the round of 16 in 2014. So obviously we got to get some get back on Belgium because, again, they knocked us out in 2014. So 12 years later, let's get it popping. Now, in regards to Folarin Balogun missing the next game against Belgium, the FIFA regulations actually, because there was some conversation brought up about, look, can they appeal that, the decision for him to be kicked out of the next game? And the FIFA regulations rule that the appeal over Folarin Balogun's red card it can't pass. So they ruled it out. It's Article 66.4 of FIFA Disciplinary Code cites an automatic 1-match suspension. So he has to be suspended for the next match, which is unfortunate. But however, the U.S. team, don't get it twisted, they still have enough firepower to beat Belgium even without Folarin Balogun. They just need somebody to step up. Again, Malik, I would say Malik Tillman is that guy to lead the charge. And again, this is not mean the U.S. is out of this thing by any chance. I think that this U.S. men's team, you watch them in these first few matches that they've had before leading into the round of 32, and you just look at them and say, look, this team is different. They got something. They got something special. They look, a lot better than teams in the past. And, so you can be confident in knowing that, there's definitely room, for them to make a run. So, I'm excited. Excited to see what happens and definitely rooting for the guys. But it's been crazy down here in Atlanta with all the FIFA World Cup stuff going on. City is crazy. Actually hadn't gotten a chance to go to a game because they're crazy expensive. But just being down there in the atmosphere, seeing the different countries that have come through, the city has been pretty cool. And I think Atlanta is going to host one of the later round matchups too. I think either like the quarterfinals or semifinals. I have to go back and fact check that. It'll be crazy down here. This is a cool time for soccer fans for sure. But that's all I have for y'all. I appreciate everybody rocking with me on today's show. Just wanted to say, hope everybody has a great weekend. Be safe out there. I know some people are going to be barbecuing and stuff like that, and having a good time with friends and family. So just be safe, enjoy, and looking forward to jumping back on here with you all again next week. So peace, blessings. I'm out.